And so I find this whole process of whereby you are trying to make make the best of yourself, where you're trying to heal from something, or you might just be trying to achieve a goal or better yourself in any way. It's a really fascinating thing because you, so much of you, is something so unconscious and so out of your control. And it really becomes like this dance between what you are consciously putting forward and the unconscious part of you that kind of is developing on its own. And so it's this, I see it kind of like as this dance between conscious intent and unconscious influence, because so many parts of you are like the small child that doesn't want to be controlled. And it'll come to the surface and come to your consciousness at certain times when it wants to, and other times it'll go down below the level of consciousness, and it won't be there. But it needs to be brought to light, and it needs to come up to your consciousness enough such that you can process and heal. In order to heal, certain unconscious parts of yourself, certain unconscious processes need to come up and need to come to light, be brought to light, and you stare them in the face for what they are. And at the same time, you don't willfully do that. You understand that growth and healing of any kind, it's like this unconscious process where that will happen on its own. You're dealing with your connection to nature. It's almost like trying to control a cat. You can't. The cat is going to just run wherever it wants to run. It's all over the place. It's unruly, uncontrollable. And at the same time, you need to depend on that part of yourself so much. You need to love it. You need to respect it. You need to work with it. You need to um, deal with it. You need to, because this part of yourself, your unconscious nature, your inner nature, which in so many ways is beyond your control. You don't choose to be who you are. You don't control who you are in many ways, because you are this design, this inner design that is just going to do its own thing. It is what it is, and it's going to do what it's going to do. And you don't necessarily always have a say in that. Um, and you can control the things that you can control. And so that still affects this kind of unruly, unconscious inner nature of yours. And so the process whereby you heal, or whereby you reach a goal, or whereby you better yourself in any particular way, is really this interaction between what you consciously do, what you consciously motion forward, and the unconscious part of yourself kind of interacting with that. And it's really, I feel like every transaction in life is this, exactly this dynamic. It's the conscious penetrating the unconscious, and whatever is birthed from that. It's really like sex. It's like the male and the female coming together, and the resulting birth, new life that comes from it. And that's growth, that's life, is that's development, is you have this will, you have this vision that you're setting forward, but it's also so much out of your control. And in many ways, just as hard as you may work on it, um you also are going to have to sit back and let it do what it's going to do. There's going to be phases where it's out of your hands. And so it's really this unconscious, um, it's this unconscious nature that's going to do what it's going to do, and you can't always control it, but you still need to live with it, and you still need to um, work with the cards that you're dealt. And that's kind of how, that's a lot of what makes it so beautiful in a way, is that um, the resulting life that subsequently comes from this conscious vision, kind of intersecting and clashing, if you will, with this completely unconscious process, which is life. Conscious order with unconscious chaos. That's what creates everything. And so, really, when you understand that, both within yourself and within the world, within the outer world, with every transaction that you go through, you can kind of better learn how to conduct yourself. You can learn to target and focus on the things that you can control, and also honor and respect the parts of yourself that are kind of out of your hands, that you can't control, and understand that that also might be part of what just makes it as kind of amazing and beautiful as it is, because a lot of the time you need that unpredictability and that chaos in order to a lot of that there's an intelligence to it. Even though it's unconscious, it has its own intelligence, and it's going to go in a direction that you might not have even predicted it's going to go in. So in many ways, you have your vision, and that's important to put forward, but also the unconscious part in yourself is going to do its own thing, and that's going to go in its own direction. And so those two things, while they might be at odds, they can also work together in a really fantastic and beautiful way. So understanding that, um, understanding that paradox within yourself and with the world I think, is an important realization in understanding, you know, how to conduct yourself. So thanks for listening to that.